Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Chris, and I'll be your presenter for this demo. Let me just make sure my screen is showing. And yeah, as I introduce everything or introduce the purpose of this webinar, I want to point out that we have our contact information on the screen currently, and I'll pull this back up towards the end. We will also be emailing out a video of this webinar or recording of this webinar in case any of you need to review it or share it with anyone else. But yeah, the purpose of this webinar will be to kind of cover, I guess, like what I would consider the primary features in our system. That will range from just like managing your day-to-day with the appointment book to more advanced features like marketing and client engagement. I'm going to pull up the appointment book and kind of start from here. And one thing that I want to point out right off the bat is that for the purpose of this webinar, I'll be showing the web browser based platform. But as I go through everything, just keep in mind that we also have a phone app and a tablet app for Android and Apple that can do pretty much all of the same things here. And realistically, actually, probably most of our clients actually rely more on the mobile apps than they do on the web-based platform. I think the web browser-based platform would probably be most suitable for like front desk, but also back office. But the apps will allow you to be, completely mobile. You could be out and about. You could run into a client of yours, and right from your phone, you'd be able to schedule an appointment. But yeah, as far as the appointment book goes, it's a pretty straightforward layout. Each stylist will have their own space on the calendar. And we've tried to make it as simple as possible to book an appointment. It's basically just a matter of choosing the stylist, clicking on the start time, and then we give you this really simple appointment card where all you need to do to book the most basic appointment is add the client that's coming in and then the service they're coming in for. For returning clients, we'll actually show you the services that they've had in their past appointments to kind of streamline the entire process. And also, just a heads up, I'm working remotely. My dog is with me. He is up and about looking out the window. He's probably spotted a cat, so if you hear any noise in the background, everything's okay. It's just my dog watching out for me. But yeah, booking is really simple. Just add client, add the service. Everything else auto-populates, the date, time, employee, and then from there you just click schedule. We also have a platform for your clients to book appointments online. This feature, it actually builds a full business web page if you don't already have one. If you do have a website already, this is the form your clients would fill out. We have a plugin that will generate the code that you can use to basically embed this into your existing site. This form also integrates with Facebook and Instagram. But from your client's perspective, it's pretty simple. They basically just fill out this form. They'll pick the day that they want. They'll pick the service. From there, it will show them all of the available start times that they can pick from. When they do that, it will then ask for their contact info. So I'm just going to kind of put some gibberish in here just to get to the next step. And then we have a option where you can require your clients, just by booking an appointment online, to leave a card on file. So if you have a no-show policy or a cancellation policy, or even if you take deposits, this would ensure that you have that card information to use it towards that policy. There's a space for you to explain exactly why you're asking for that card, but I can't even move forward unless I put a valid card in here with this step turned on. It'll actually authenticate that it is a real card when they're putting it in here. So, they wouldn't be able to just put this in here and move forward. It'll authenticate it to make sure it's a real card. But yeah, it's a pretty simple process. When they, the next step I'll just kind of describe, I'm going to avoid putting in a valid card in here. But in the next step, they're basically just reviewing the request that they're making, just to, what it's their last chance to make sure that the request that they submit is asking for what they actually want. And then when it's submitted, you can handle this part in two different ways. You can either have these come to you as a request that you'll have a chance to review and then accept or reject, or you can just give them the power to book the appointment. That first option just kind of gives you a chance to be a buffer and ensure the requests that are coming in are truly going to work for you. They should, because when they're presented with the times that they can pick from, it's looking at your appointment book to ensure that or to basically give them the option of times that truly are available. It's not going to allow them to double book or book outside of business hours or book to an employee that is not even scheduled on the day that they're asking for. Um, every request that comes in here should work on your calendar, but there could be other variables, depending on, other factors that, maybe are unique to your business specifically, that you might want to account for. Um, our system, going back to appointment booking, our system will send out automatic appointment reminders via text and email. We also have two-way texting. So, um, you know, in the example where a client has an appointment booked and their appointment reminder is sent, let's say they last minute needed to reschedule, or maybe they just had a question about their appointment that they're about to come in for. You can have those full conversations right inside of our system. To me personally, if well, for me personally, I think the big advantage to this feature is it kind of, I guess, helps you avoid having to give out personal cell numbers just to be able to interact with clients. I'm a big proponent of keeping work life and home life separate. If you don't want, text to your personal phone at like midnight, one of your clients wanting an appointment, this feature will help you kind of keep that part of your life separate. You'll still get the text, you can still pay attention to it, but it'll be through our app, it'll be through this system versus, your personal cell number. We also have online forms, so if you have any need for like a client to complete paperwork just to have an appointment. Maybe you have a waiver or consent forms that clients need to fill out. Maybe for certain services, there's information that you need to collect to help you prepare for the appointment itself. Basically, any paperwork that you could possibly need your clients to fill out to have an appointment, you'll be able to build that in here. That includes even asking them to upload files. Let's say it's helpful just to have a reference photo if they have a particular style in mind. You could even ask them to upload images if that's something that they have. You can ask for digital signatures, which I can actually show better in the preview. Um, so if it's like any kind of waiver, consent form, contract, whatever, uh, and you need them to sign off, you can ask for that digital signature. That's not my real signature, FYI. But yeah. But the real way that these forms work, aside from designing them in the first place, you're able to set the conditions under which a client would even need to fill out this form in the first place. So, for example, I could say this form is required each time an appointment is booked, or maybe only the first time an appointment is booked. Um, I could even go one step further and say, not only is this form required each time an appointment is booked, but more specifically, if they're booking maybe a color service or any other type of service that maybe has certain pieces of information that would help you to kind of prepare for it. Then the whole idea with the form being designed and with these parameters set right here, the whole point of this is that now going forward, just by you booking appointments, our system will know whether or not that client needs to complete one of your forms. It will know which one, and then it will automatically email it or text it to the client. So, they basically have between the time the appointment's booked and the actual day of the appointment to complete that form. Um, Backtracking though to the appointment book, if you have clients like me, you'll almost certainly have people show up that don't fill out the forms that you've asked them to. If that's the case, you'll get a little icon indicating that fact. And when you click on that appointment, you'll have this complete now option, and you have a choice of either resending it to them, or if I click fill out form now, it will actually pull it up on this device. So let's say this is my front desk computer. I could just pull it up right here and let my client fill it out on my own computer. I always tell people, most of your clients will probably walk through the front door with their phone in their hand. I would just resend it to them, keep their hands off of your hardware. But you have that choice. Like if you have people that maybe aren't super tech savvy, you know, um, maybe maybe you can't rely on them to be able to fill out that form on their own phone. You could just pull it up right here. Um, Now these appointments are booked, appointment reminders have been sent, forms have been completed if that's the case. Now when a client shows up, you can check them in. Excuse me, this will actually send a push notification to that stylist's phone, letting them know that their next client's in. I always use my barber as an example for this. Every time I go in for a haircut, my barber is in the back room waiting for his next appointment. The front desk person has to get up out of her chair every single time and go chase him down. Doing this, she could just check them in, and he can look at his phone and know that he's up. Um, but then when that client's ready to pay, you just go back to that same appointment. You go to checkout. The first step is where you would handle, like what they're paying for. So we support product sales. We'll actually show this client just happened to be a decent example of this. This client has purchased products in the past. It'll actually show me what she's purchased. So this could be a clue on what I might be able to upsell this time around. Like, does she need a refill of any of these things? Or maybe I offer a new product that's an upgrade over something she bought in the past. And, now I can introduce that to her. You can also do group checkout. Like if you have maybe a mother and daughter that come together and the daughter wants to pay for everything. They could each have their own appointments, and then group checkout would basically allow you to do one transaction to cover both of those appointments. Then when you're ready to handle the payment, this is a fake account, so I don't have any cards on here. But if I had this customer's card on file already, it would show up right here, and I could just click on it and process the payment that way. Otherwise, if they're paying with a card in person, you just hit credit. And this is really, there's not much to show you here because this is where the client's going to be doing all the work. We'll provide you with hardware to process these cards. And this is where the client's basically going to insert their card, choose a tip amount, confirm the payment, all the things you normally do with any credit card transaction. And yeah, I'm going to do a quick cash payment just to show you this final step. So once the payment is made and recorded, I would close the ticket. I'll have the option of either emailing or printing the receipt. I'm going to skip it because there's not, either way, there wouldn't be much to show you there. But then we have the shortcut to rebook. We just kind of assume that, every client that comes in, should probably be rebooked before they walk out the door when everything's said and done. If you choose rebook, this will essentially just duplicate the appointment you just checked out. And I'm sorry, when I do a screen share, it slows my computer down pretty dramatically. So let's give it a second here. So it'll basically just duplicate that appointment that you just checked out. It auto-populates everything about it. The employee, client, service. I can make changes to these things if I need to. But really all that's left to do here is choose when the next appointment will be. We have shortcuts where you can jump ahead an exact number of weeks, or you can pick a specific date on the calendar. But this will take you to wherever you jumped ahead. I jumped ahead, I think it was 4 weeks. Yep, 4 weeks. And I can see that this would fit. So now all I have to do to get that next appointment scheduled is click schedule, and we're all set. So that's like the basics, but then we also have automated marketing campaigns that you can run. We have email and text marketing, but basically you can kind of set up these automated campaigns that will target your clients based on, certain facts about their history with you. You can also do like one-time blasts. A good example of that might be like, I know it's only, well, it's April now. I know it's only April, but I could actually go in here and build my, Christmas or, whatever holiday I want, Halloween campaigns right now, and have them basically set up and scheduled to run when I actually need them to run. So, on January 1st, if you really wanted to, you could get your whole year's worth of marketing campaigns pre-configured. But the example I always like to show is remind clients to book again. Um, and I'll show you kind of how these work, like what your options are. You start by designing the message that you want to send out. So like this is an attempt to rebook clients. I'm going to say something along the lines of, hey, it's been a while since you've been in here. Why don't you book that next appointment? You'll probably find a better way to phrase it than I did, but this is where you get the message, or where you design the message that you want to send out. But the real way that these work is this next step where, oh, I gotta rename this, hang on. This next step where you choose who it should target. So again, this campaign is trying to get clients to book that next appointment. This is an example of an automatically recurring campaign. And in this system, that means that this is a campaign that will run every day. But when it runs each day, it's only looking for people that do not have any future appointments scheduled. Their last visit was more than, so many days ago. And then finally, to avoid inadvertently spamming your clients over and over again, you can choose how many days it should wait before it tries again. So, so it's not going to spam them repeatedly every day, but it's also not just going to forget about them either. Um, with it set at 30 days, basically, when this campaign runs, if it finds a particular client that meets the other two checkboxes, it will send that message out to them. Then it will wait 30 days and see if they still meet all these criteria. If they have not booked an appointment as a result, it will try again. If they still do not have anything scheduled, or if they do, or if they already have something scheduled, I'm sorry, it will not try again because it sees that they already have something booked. Um, but you can target people based on, how many days away is their birthday, um, or you can target people based on specific things they have and have not purchased in the past. So like, for example, I could say, target people that have come in for a hair color service, but have never purchased this product that you might want to use if you've had your hair colored. Um, it's basically a way to kind of like plant the seed for an upsell the next time they come in by introducing them to things that, would be relevant to them. I think one of the most important things about, especially with text marketing, but also with email marketing, is that you do very targeted messaging. Well, going back to that client retention campaign, if you're offering a discount, maybe like 10% off or something, to try to get people to book that next appointment, you probably don't want to offer that 10% off discount to people that are already booked. Someone might get that message and see like, oh, like if I didn't have an appointment booked, I'd get 10% off. Why don't I get that for the appointment I already have that I'm already committed to? But also too, like you don't want to just inundate them with messages either. Being targeted will help kind of keep their attention. If they're getting promos for things that have nothing to do with them, or that would not be related to them at all, people will start to tune out. So this will kind of help you remain targeted and keep their attention. On a similar note, we have this feature that we call reputation management. This functions in a similar way to the automated marketing, but it serves a slightly different purpose. What this feature will do is, after you check a client out, they've just had their appointment, our system will send out a text or an email that starts by simply asking them to rate the experience they had between 1 and 5 stars. If they give you 4 or 5 stars, we would then direct them over to your Facebook, Google, or Yelp profile so they can leave a review online. You can choose which ones you actually want to link. I know, Yelp is, let's just say Facebook and Google are probably more prominent than Yelp nowadays as far as like researching businesses that you'd like to give your business to. You could actually choose to link Facebook and Google and ignore Yelp, or vice versa. Like if Yelp is the main concern, you can ignore Facebook and Google and just link Yelp. Um, Basically, whatever platforms you link, your clients will have the choice between those, as far, when they decide where to leave a review. Um, it might be important to give them options too. Like, not everybody has a Facebook account anymore. You might want to have at least Facebook and Google. So if they have Google, they can sign in there and leave a review. I think both Facebook and Google require a consumer to have an account with both of those to leave reviews on their platform. Um, but circling back a little bit, we're only asking the 4 and 5 star people to go to these platforms to leave a review. Like if they give you feedback of 4 or 5 stars, they're basically a promoter of your business. They'll likely tell their friends and family about you, and recommend you. Um, Sending them to social media obviously will kind of give them a bigger platform to tell people they've never even met, about how great you are. On the flip side, excuse me, if they give you 3 stars or fewer, those are the people we don't want going to Facebook and leaving a 1 star review. Instead, we just ask for their feedback. And if they leave feedback, it will go directly to you and nowhere else. So it still gives you a chance to see how they felt. Maybe more importantly, it gives that client a chance to voice their like displeasure, or just a place to like vent or express their feelings about their experience. I think most of the time when somebody goes to social media and leaves a bad review, they just want to be heard. And if you still give them a chance to leave that feedback, now you have this opportunity to reach out to them and address whatever the problem was, and let them know that you're listening. From there, just having that conversation with the client might help you retain them as a client. Or at the very least, though, having that conversation might kind of cut them off at the pass before they just go to your Facebook on their own and leave a review. The way Facebook and Google operate, there's nothing anyone can really do to prevent a client or a customer from going there and leaving a review. But this feature gives you a chance to talk to them first, and that might kind of negate the need for them to go and leave that review. Um, like I said, I mean, most people that leave negative feedback online are, they just want their voice heard, and you're giving them that opportunity by asking for that feedback. Um, and then from there, I mean, I think those are the most popular features. Those are the ones that people typically call in and ask us about. But we also support gift cards, both physical and electronic. We support product sales. So if you sell any retail, we'll help you track your inventory. Um, we have payroll reporting that will calculate commission and hourly wages. And then we also have prepaid packages. I think this is it's a pretty huge revenue generator. I'll actually pull this one up really quick. The title of the feature might not fully describe it, but this basically allows you to sell services in bundles. Um, you're basically pre-selling quantities of services that the client, will likely, or, if they buy this package, they plan on coming in, you know, at least this number of times. It's guaranteed revenue whether they show up or not. But also like it kind of like encourages loyalty. They're committing into the future, by purchasing one of these packages. And with that, I'm going to see if there were any questions. Bear with me. Go to meetings question list always makes it kind of difficult to see if there's any questions. Um, I don't see any at the moment, but I'm going to pull this back up. So this is our, uh, these are the different ways you can reach us. Um, if you have any interest in anything that I've talked about, you'd probably start by dialing into the sales line. Um, but like I said in the beginning too, like we're also going to send out a recording of this webinar. The email that the webinar is linked to will also have contact information. So, if any questions come up, definitely reach out. You know, we can go into more detail on some of these things. One thing that I haven't really touched on, and this isn't really my arena, I actually probably should have said this in the beginning. I have a partner that was going to be in here with this on this webinar with me. He actually wasn't able to make it. He was out sick today. He's the one that would normally deal with like questions and information about pricing. Um, you can get there on our website though. If you go to daysmartsalon.com, we have some basic information about the different packages that we offer. Pricing would mostly depend on what you need out of the system. We have a few different packages. They include different features. They're kind of catered to the different size businesses and different needs. Oh, I just had a question about loyalty points. So yeah, we do have a loyalty points feature in the system. The way ours works is you basically assign a number of points per dollar spent. To keep it simple for my math deficient brain, I keep it at 1 for 1. You earn a point for every dollar you spend. From there, you can actually set up rewards that can be redeemed, when a client accumulates a certain number of points. Our system will automatically credit a client with these points as they spend money with you. I already have one reward set up where after a client, I don't know if this is something you would actually offer, but after a client earns 100 points, they're able to redeem a $15 discount. That's probably a pretty big discount for that small of a number of points. But basically, like you can kind of define discount amounts that they would get for number of points. You can give free services, free products. And then as you check clients out, our system will alert you if that client is eligible to redeem any of the rewards that you've set up. So, if I'm checking out a client in this example that has 100 points in their balance, it'll let me know that they're eligible to redeem this $15 discount, and then I can apply that at the time of checkout. Are there any other questions? Let's see. Yeah, I think, about the packages. As far as reporting on packages, I think let me just make sure. I think we have a report that will track package balances, or that might be something we're working on. Let me just make sure though. Yeah, I don't think we have a report that shows outstanding balances for prepaid services, coming from packages. It will alert you when a package is sold. It will credit that client with that quantity of the service that's included in the package. And then as you book that service, it will automatically, it'll recognize that that person has that balance, and it will automatically assume that we're redeeming that service from that package. So it'll track it when you're checking out. It will automatically recognize, when a person is eligible to redeem one of the packages. For room booking, we also have resources that will allow you to, like a resource in our system is basically a way to like track an inanimate object, like a room or a piece of equipment. You're able to, I don't think I have any of these fully set up, but basically, like I have room A here, for example. The way I have it set up is that basically, let me simplify this a little bit. I'm going to remove this one. I'm basically saying that anytime I book an all over color, I need room A to be available. This could be a chair, this could be a sink, like whatever you would possibly need. And with that service tied to that resource, going forward, our system will, when you book this service to a client on your schedule, it will automatically do a check to make sure that that resource is available before it allows you to, follow through and book that appointment. Maybe an even more important area is when with online booking, if a client online tries to book an appointment, it's not only going to look for when a client, or I'm sorry, when a stylist is available to take that appointment, but it's also going to check to make sure that the resource tied to that service is also available. So when they're presented with that list of times to pick from, it will, it'll, like that list of times will also reflect that that chair or that room is also available. Um, but hey, I just noticed the time. I think it's about time to wrap up. Um, like I said, though, we're going to send a follow-up email with a recording of the webinar. And I know we definitely weren't able to cover everything. I don't think it's possible to cover everything the system can do in just 30 minutes. But yeah, if there's any other questions, please reach out. Um, and yeah, we'll address your specific needs and make sure that this is a fit for you. I'm going to pull up the website again and just kind of have this the sales number highlighted right here. And yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys giving me your time. And yeah, please stay in touch. If you have any other questions, just give us a call or shoot us an email and let us know. But with that, I am going to sign out. And again, thank you for making time this afternoon to take a look at this with me.